Earvin Magic Johnson was considered the greatest winner of his time.
There it is, it's over, and the most valuable player is Magic Johnson.
Michael Jordan was considered the greatest winner of his time.
The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship in the last 8 years.
Together, they made 15 NBA Finals appearances, but they only met for the title once, in June of 1991, in a battle that basketball fans will always remember. From the moment he entered the NBA in 1979, Magic Johnson made his Los Angeles Lakers a special team. They were graceful, they were stylish, and they always put on a great show.
Still going, still going. Oh! Highlight film. Showtime. Oh! Gotta love it. The ball rolls free. Magic wants it. Magic's got it. Bounce under. Rambus scores.
Just watching this club go up and down the court, and the crowds at the Los Angeles Forum reacting to them, and just the nickname, Showtime.
I think they set the table for people being flamboyant, the no-look passes, the sky hooks, the fast breaks. It was just fun basketball.
But they also played winning basketball. And their 8 finals appearances and 5 titles in the 80s were a testament to their greatness.
They were what everybody else wanted to be. Getting through the 80s, beating Boston twice, winning 5 championships, I think that made the Lakers into a team of historical substance.
Magic was the smiling face of the NBA's newest dynasty. But he was so much more than that. He was the ultimate floor general.
Magic could control a game maybe better than anybody else because he always had the basketball and he determined who was going to get the ball. He made sure you were in the right spot or you wouldn't get it.
He was the law. He was the man. As we say, you're the man. So it was phenomenal because he always seemed to call the right play at the right time.
And he wasn't afraid to call his own number.
3 seconds. 2 seconds. Magic's 18-footer wins it. Has he ever done it before? You bet he has. Will he ever do it again? Time and time again.
He was basketball's new ideal, its perfect player.
One time I asked Johnny Wooden, and I said, who was the best? And he said, I would select Magic. They're all great, but he said, I'd select Magic because he makes everybody around him so much better.
Earvin had a very unique ability to understand what was going on with the team and what was needed and who needed to be included and who needed to get shots, and that is the role of a point guard, but he had it down to a science.
But by 1991, Magic's role would have to change. Laker mainstay Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had retired, and as Johnson entered his 12th year in the league, he became the elder statesman for a new type of team.
I think a lot of people probably thought the Lakers were done. Magic was certainly closer to the end of his career than the beginning. He was still a very, very good player. Not saying he wasn't, but Worthy was toward the end of his career. They were using Sam Perkins at center. It was a different Laker team than the one that had gotten to the finals all those years during the 80s.
Showtime had closed. And even stylish Laker head coach Pat Riley was replaced by Mike Dunleavy.
Our style of play even changed a little bit more. Our running game wasn't what it used to be. We didn't run as much. Mike was more, if he wanted to really kind of slow it down and go to a power game. He wanted to post up Magic and post up James and post up Sam and Blotty. Let's slow it down and let's pound it inside.
The Lakers had changed, but Magic was still the focal point.
There's no surprise to Earvin and how he improved as a player. He spent time. He came early. He stayed late, shooting free throws. He used to play 3-point games with Byron and James Worthy. Then he eventually started working on the hook shot, and that became a huge weapon for him.
Magic had altered his game to adapt to his team. But the question a half a continent away in Chicago was whether Michael Jordan would ever be able to do the same and adapt to his. When Michael Jordan began his career with the Chicago Bulls in 1984, he brought an unmatched feeling of joy and wonder into the NBA.
No time for Mr. Jordan.
All the way! Jordan to the hoop. Oh! Tipped it out to Jordan down the lane, all the way. Basket! Some effort by Jordan, who has it on the break, driving all the way in. Basket! An unbelievable move! He put it in and it counts!
Jordan attacked the basket with ferocity that no one had ever seen before. He'd split the double team and then dunk on a 7-footer at the basket. Attack and with a vicious kind of a tomahawk attack that just I've never seen before or since.
With a basketball in Michael's hands, it seemed that everything and anything was possible.
The inbounds pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
As popular as he was talented, Michael became an instant pop culture icon.
Michael was it. Michael Jordan was the kind of player who you could give the ball to and he could win the ball game. You put a Nike shoe in his hand and you could sell 8 million Nikes. He came along at a time when society wanted someone who they could really identify with in every single aspect.
But as Michael's star continued to rise, his magnificent solo performances began to draw criticism.
As great as a virtuoso as anyone can be, you have to figure out a way to mesh your great virtuoso skills with that of the other 4 guys to produce the maximum result. It was not easy for Michael to do this. I mean, because when you have that kind of skill, you always assume that, and this given moment, right here, right now, the best way for us to score is for me to take the ball and get a shot.
There's no false modesty with Michael. He wasn't a braggart in any way, but it wasn't like, gee whiz, you know, I guess I could shoot pretty good. It was, I can do this.
The Bulls have it! Here comes Michael Jordan on the drive, 5 seconds. Jordan on the drive, right in the lane, 18-footer. Yeah!
But despite a slew of high-scoring games, Michael couldn't prevent Chicago's playoff failures. And the Bulls fired 3 coaches in his first 5 years as they searched in vain for a way to turn Michael's team into champions.
He was obviously driven from the belief in his own abilities. And, you know, from that standpoint, Michael made players feel like they weren't participating in the game.
For all those years, we all know the criticism. He doesn't make his teammates better. One man, a guard can't win a championship. He's not a team leader. He's in it for himself. I mean, all those things were still very, very loudly heard in a lot of circles around the NBA.
There were some that said, hey, really what he is George Gervin with a nice smile. Because he scored a lot of points, but his teams never won the ultimate games. And he was furious about that.
It was such a frustrating thing for me, and I was very disturbed by it. And I think that was a part of the challenge. No one really felt that a scoring leader could lead their team to a championship.
Michael was unfavorably compared to the unselfish Magic, and his leadership skills were called into question.
He hadn't made his players better. He didn't make them come up to the same level he was playing at.
To Michael, the criticism seemed unjustified.
Well, Michael's joke was always, well, Magic made players better. He says, well, I'd like to take a shot at making Kareem and James Worthy better. I'm trying to make Brad Sellers and Dennis Hopson better.
Michael's frustration was evident as his teammates failed to play up to his lofty standards.
I don't think that Michael really believed in his teammates.
In 1989, Phil Jackson became Michael's 4th head coach, and from the outset, his goal was to make Jordan's Bulls more cohesive.
I knew that I needed a system where he could play out of that would employ all the players. And if everybody participated in it, then that would empower them.
Jackson unveiled the triangle offense. It was based on sharing the ball and the spotlight. Many wondered how long Michael Jordan would tolerate it.
This was the biggest test of the dynamics of the game, was Michael Jordan's phenomenal physical, personal skill, to see how he was going to be able to blend this in to bring everyone else along with him to achieve the goal.